Jozef Bosansky ranked 6th in the qualification round, and in the semi-finals he beat Robiniatra from Estonia, and here they are in the gold medal match.
Well, here they come.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the athletes to the field for the compound men's gold medal match. On target number 1, representing Germany, Team Krippendorf. His opponent will shoot on target number 2, representing Slovakia, Jozef Bosansky. And the line judge for this match is Maya Shalavi.
Well, here we go for the compound men's gold medal match. There's a 21-year-old German, Tim Krippendorf, on target number 1 up against the Slovakian Jozef Bosansky. Bosansky was a bit of a surprise qualifier for the World Cup final in 2019, but a runner-up at the last European Grand Prix in Porec. Another exciting lineup for gold here in Antalya. A good start from Bosansky. So, Nikki, as we start this men's gold medal match, any particular knowledge of these two athletes, or do you have a favourite for this one?
I think it's another match of youth versus experience, isn't it? So, I mean, Bosansky is the older. His best world rank was 9th, so surely he's got to be the favourite going into this.
Yeah, I'd agree with you.
9.
So a little bit of a spread for the German. Well, a bit of a spread for Bosansky, but a 28 by the looks of things there. And that's drifted out into the 7. Are we seeing signs of nerves here, Nikki?
Yeah, I think so. He's 21, he's 105th in the world. Look at the conditions, look at the wind lapping up over the judge there. So, you've really got to hold your nerve and just try and keep that bow as still as possible, and get those shots just to release just as you want to into the gold.
Yeah, but a big gap already. 24 plays 28 with the more experienced Bosansky leading the way. Now, you shot competitively for some time. How much did you find experience towards the end of your career played its part?
Yeah, definitely. I think, and when I was, world number 1, I was shooting regularly, tournament after tournament, getting that experience and being comfortable in that. And these archers just haven't had that. We've had this big break. No one knows where everyone is right now. And, they've just got to get their process together now and, execute it under the pressure.
Yeah, I think you're right. And there's nothing like a fresh start. It's time for end number 2. So Krippendorf on target number 1 will shoot first as the trailing archer. Bit of a longer hold from Bosansky, but he gets away with a 9.
I mean, he's looking really solid there. He's holding still. I can't see any movement. Great group, but again, like we saw in the previous match, just heading over to the right there.
9.
Faster shot there from Bosansky.
There we go, we've dialed in now, back into the 10.
Problem for Krippendorf is Bosansky is matching him all the way. In fact, another point ahead in that second end. Look, Nicky, you mentioned watching the judge at the beginning on the shooting line and her trousers being blown around all over the place. But the problem here is it's quite gusty, isn't it? It's not a solid wind.
Yeah, definitely. It can make it really tricky. You've got a nice consistent wind, you can just move your sight, you can shoot in the middle. But when it's gusting like this, you have to be aware of the conditions. You can see the windsocks down behind the targets. That's giving the archer some really good information about how fast is the wind speed right now and what do I need to do. Now look at it, it's still. So they've got to keep being reactive to the conditions to make sure that they're going to go into the middle. This kind of wind speed's going to make that difference between the 10 and the 8.
Yeah, it definitely is. And you're talking about a 50-metre range as well. So the arrows fly for some time. But the scores are looking very favourable for the Slovakian. He leads 56-51. So it'll be Tim Krippendorf who will shoot first in end number 3.
Nine. 9. 10.
He's looking cool as a cucumber, and that one's straight into the X there. Just got to work on that confidence and keep going with it.
9.
Bosansky making adjustments almost on every shot here.
10.
Oh. Now we're seeing signs of what brought Tim Krippendorf here to this gold medal match. 2 X's to finish and a 29 for his third end.
9.
And a 27 finish for Bosansky. So just like that, if my maths is right, Krippendorf has pulled back 2 of those 5 points. Chance for a turnaround here, you think, Nicky?
Anything's possible, definitely in these wind conditions, so you've got to keep pushing. And Krippendorf's starting to look really, really comfortable. He looks solid at full draw. He's aiming nicely, holding nicely. So we could see a turnaround here.
And that means Tim again will shoot first.
Well, I think the scores were pretty clear. There are 27 plays 29, and a good fight back from the German, the 21-year-old. He's back within 3. Another end like that, and Krippendorf could be right in this as we go into the final end. He's still trailing, so he will shoot first. It's time for end number 4. So, can Krippendorf, the German on target number 1, pick up from where he left off in the previous end and shoot another 10? It looks good on the line, so it will be marked as a 10. Now it's whether Bosansky can get back into the middle.
9.
It's a much longer hold. You could hear him getting counted down there by his coach, but he really needed a 10 there. There was a 1-point advantage already made on this end. He's just opened the door now to let it slip. So how is the Slovakian going to return?
10.
Well, there's your answer, right in the middle. Possibly his best arrow so far.
10.
He's back in the middle at 29. This is his best, matching his third end score. 29 possible for Bosansky here as well, but shoots a 9, so it's another point gained from the young German. Nikki, you alluded to this a little earlier in the match, that Krippendorf is looking solid and composed, and it just seems to me that he's almost like he's being able to handle the blustery conditions a little bit better now than he was at the beginning of the match.
Yeah, his stance looks good. He looks powerful. He looks solid. You know, we're always going to move around a little bit. We're not robots who can hold it dead still in the middle. But his technique looks really solid. And you know, you just got to hold your nerve. You know, if you get behind by a few points, you just keep on shooting your normal process. And here we see it. He's coming back. I think we've got, is it just a 2-point deficit now? The score's coming in.
That's right. Yeah, so he was 5 behind after the first 2 ends, and he's clawed back 3 of those. So 2 behind going into the final end, and look, it's quite possible for him to not only draw level, but perhaps even snatch this. Let's find out. It's time for end number 5. So Krippendorf still trailing, but excuse the pun, has the wind in his sails. Another solid looking shot. Oh, you can see the wind is blustery. And there it settles. And that's when Bosansky releases. Oof.
Long hold and using it all the time there and getting moved around in that one, wasn't he? But he got it in the 10, and that's exactly what he needed right now.
Needs points dropped here for Bosansky though. Oh, and that's drifted out to the left. So needs a good shot here to finish to give himself a chance and put some pressure on the Slovakian. Oh, he's pulled that one wide and right. It's an 8. So just a 7 required from Bosansky. He's been nowhere near the 7s. A 9 to finish things off. A curious match. Bosansky led out from the start, slightly pegged back in ends 3 and 4 by the German Tim Krippendorf. But in the end, that lead he built up was too much. And Jozef Bosansky of Slovakia, subject to confirmation, has taken the gold here in the compound men's event. A curious match, Nikki, I have to say.
Yeah, I mean, I think he just got too nervous in the end. If you watch Tim's technique there, we talked about how solid he looked all the way through, and then that last end, he was holding longer, he was starting to move around. I think the nerves just got on top of him, and such a shame, because I think he just realised, you know, he had a chance in this match to come back and put some pressure on.
Yeah, I think you're right. It was curious that he had the opportunity, didn't quite take it. It's always the same in archery. It's if you're taking if you're trailing and you're fighting back, if an opportunity presents itself, it's basically whether you can hold your nerve and just go through that process. And it wasn't quite good enough for Krippendorf. Jozef Bosansky of Slovakia is the compound men's gold medalist here in Antalya. And Nikki, we've seen through the course of this tournament, it's just been those 1 or 2 stray arrows in a match that really caused a problem, particularly so in the compound division.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are so accurate. You know, we're shooting over 50 metres on an 80 centimetre face, and, you know, today is unusual because it's quite windy, and you know, if we were in dead still conditions, we'd be seeing these guys shooting 10 after 10 after 10. So it really does mix it up. It opens the door, and they've got to take those opportunities, you know, staying solid and keeping that score up. And that's the difference between that gold and that silver medal.
Yeah, the conditions are a tiny bit blustery as we take a look back on that. How much of archery, especially in blustery conditions, does it come down to a bit of luck?
I mean, it does open the door a bit. You know, if you've got perfect conditions, usually, you know, the consistent archers will rise above. But when it is more windy, there is that, you know, opening where you can get blown off, you can shoot a bad arrow. So it is much more exciting for us to watch today because anything can happen.
Yeah, it certainly can. We've seen a few stray arrows, and to be fair, Bosansky, who took that, had quite a wide range of shots, but mostly inside that yellow ring in the centre. So 9s and 10s were enough for Bosansky to take gold here today. And there is confirmation. Jozef Bosansky, raising his hat, is the gold medalist here in Antalya.